Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the surface, this motion sounds well-intentioned on the surface. But when you're in this business as long as me, you know what's behind the door. You know what's behind these motions, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I think that the time period, today is the 15th of December, and if we on this side wanted to import any items based on that incentive, we would not be able to bring it in for Christmas, because it's the 15th of December, with the best shipping in the world, we will not be able to bring it in for Christmas. So that means members of the government side had prior knowledge of that information, because that must have been discussed in the cabinet. So on the surface, where you make a blank statement, elected parliamentarians in this country are not equal. Government parliamentarians are a lot more equal than elected parliamentarians. Even non-government, even government politicians who get defeated in constituencies or who want to run constituencies are much more privileged than elected parliamentarians, Mr. Speaker. I would not like to go into the Prime Minister's discussion on relief for people and how many people have got this and people have got that, Mr. Speaker. But I can see from my constituency, as the elected parliamentarian, I have not been offered anything from the government for my constituency. As an elected parliamentarian, Mr. Speaker, and I know for a fact that in my constituency, government largesse is being distributed by people who are not elected, but who were defeated, Mr. Speaker. So we will say these things this morning in this house, and everybody says, oh, we're giving you things, we're helping you out for our people. But in the back, Mr. Speaker, that will do nothing for us. It will not benefit us as elected parliamentarians on the opposite side. And this is just a show to pretend that we are being assisted. But we're not even from the government. Like, Mr. Speaker, last week, people in my constituency taking names of people to give tablets, asking them their names and telephone numbers for tablets, saying to them the government is importing tablets, and if you want, give me your name and your ID number and your parent school you go to give tablets, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is the reality of life for us in St. Lucia. So I really do not want anybody to get excited to believe that this motion in the parliament is something that will benefit us. It sounds well, it sounds well-intentioned, but behind it, Mr. Speaker, there is a lot more behind it, Mr. Speaker. Last week, I had to complain to the CMO that I had no masks. I had no masks in my constituency, and masks were being distributed in my constituency. To her credit, she sent me 5 boxes of masks. We'd got absolutely nothing as elected parliamentarians for our constituencies. And people get annoyed when you say, and that's something each one of us, Mr. Speaker, are experiencing the same. I know for a fact, Mr. Speaker, that toys are going to be distributed. And I don't know where they're coming from, but they're going to be distributed, and we on this side, at least I can say for myself, have not been consulted, nor have been asked about anything of this nature. So I will not say that motion is not by intention, but what I can tell you is I want the public to know and put on the record that all elected parliamentarians are not the same. Some elected parliamentarians are more equal than others, and even non-elected parliamentarians who lose elections because they belong to the government are a lot more privileged and have a lot more access to government resources than us on this side. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.